Hello dear students, we are studying chapter number 1, that is the living world and classification of microbes. In last video, we have studied about the five kingdom system which was invented by the scientist Robert Whittaker. According to him, the five kingdoms are kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and last it is kingdom Animalia. So students, you also should recite the names of this kingdom and characteristics that we are going to learn ahead. These are very important for the exam point of view. This session we will start with very important point, that is the classification of microbes. Students, we will see what are microbes first. So these microbes are microorganisms. They are very small organisms. We can see some of that microbes with our naked eyes, but to see some microorganisms, it is necessary to have compound microscope because they possesses very tiny structure. They possesses microscopic structures, so that we have to use their microscope to see these organisms. All these microbes are grouped into bacteria, viruses, algae, protozoas, etc. Okay, so some of that microbes are unicellular, where some are multicellular. Some are prokaryotes, where some are eukaryotes. Some microorganisms, these are useful to us, where some microorganisms, these are harmful to us. Let us see how all that microorganisms are placed into five kingdom system. All the microorganisms, they are grouped into, or they are placed into first three kingdoms. These are kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, and last it is kingdom Fungi. All microbes are placed in these three groups. Let us see characteristics of these three groups one by one and their examples too. So if you see here, structures of bacteria are seen, and these bacteria possesses very simple structures, very simple structures. Okay. Let's take example here. If we take a drop of curd and water on a slide and observe under the microscope, then we can see the rod-like moving structures. There are rod-like moving structures like this, and these structures are bacteria which are present in the curd. So this type of bacteria are essential bacteria or useful bacteria. Some bacteria are present inside our bodies. They are also useful to us. But here, two examples are given. Salmonella typhi and another it is Vibrio cholerae. So these are harmful bacteria. They are disease causing or responsible for the diseases like typhoid and cholera. Okay. So characteristics. Come to the characteristics. First characteristic is prokaryotic organisms. As they are possesses very simple structure, they are not having well-defined cells. Some cell organelles are absent. So all the organisms which comes in this group, which comes in this kingdom, they are prokaryotic, unicellular. Only single cell is present, unicellular. And all organisms, either they are autotrophic or they are heterotrophic organisms. Okay, autotrophic, they can prepare their own food, means and heterotrophic, these are depends upon another organism for getting food. Example of autotrophs are blue-green algae. Here, blue-green algae is an example of autotrophic organism of such group. Okay. Now heterotrophic, these two bacteria, they are present on humans, bodies of human. So they are heterotrophic organisms. Now come to the next kingdom Protista. Here also you can see two diagrams. First is of Euglena, another is of amoeba. Again let's take example here. If we take a drop of pond water on a slide and observe under the microscope, then we can see the same structure like this. Means it is clear that the pond water contains amoeba. The microorganisms, these are amoeba. So let us see characteristics all organisms are eukaryotics, means their cells are well defined with all the cell organelles, and their nucleus is covered with nuclear membrane. Okay, eukaryotic organisms. Then come to they are again unicellular, single celled organisms are present. Same like this group, that is either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Example of autotrophic organism in this group is paramecium, where heterotrophic amoeba. Okay. Come to the next very important feature of this group is locomotory organ. Presence of locomotory organ. What is mean by locomotion? Movement. Moves from one place to another place. So these organisms are having pseudopodia, cilia and flagella. So if we see here, this euglena having a whip-like structure. It is having whip-like structure at the end, and this is used for the movement, used for the locomotion, and this is called flagella. This is called flagella. In amoeba, we know that amoeba moves. So which organ is present here? That is pseudopodia. Pseudopodia is present in amoeba for the movement. So pseudo means false and podia means leg. They are having false legs for the movement, for the locomotion. Okay. Again cilia. If we see the paramecium, which is having structure like this, and around this the cilia are present here. This structure is shown cilia, and these cilia are used in the paramecium for the movement, for the locomotion. So this is important feature. Remember this word: pseudopodia into amoeba, cilia into paramecium, and flagella into the euglena. Come to the third, that is kingdom fungi. Okay, so you can see again here two diagrams. So first is of fungus, where another is showing mushroom. The characteristics are eukaryotic organisms. Again same, their cell is well defined with all organelles, nucleus covered into the nuclear membrane, but they are multicellular organisms. Never unicellular are present in this group. Only the multicellular fungi are multicellular organisms. Okay, they are non-green. As they are non-green, they cannot prepare their own food, and they depends upon another dead material only, another dead materials. So they called as saprophytic organisms. What is mean by saprophytic? Remember this very carefully. Saprophytic means they are depends upon only the dead material for getting their food. Okay. Again, cell wall is present into the fungi. So we know that cell wall, this cell organelle only present into the plant cell, but here the cell wall is present as they are not plants. And this cell wall is made up of chitin. Chitin. It is a type of sugar. Remember this word carefully, chitin. Chitin is a hard sugar, and it possesses the cell wall into the fungi. So these are the characteristics of this fungi group. Remember all these characteristics, and for reciting you should study comparatively. Okay, so first they are prokaryotics, unicellular, and in last third group multicellular are present. First two are autotrophic and heterotrophic, both organisms are present, where in third group only saprophytic organisms are present. So in this way, this is about the characteristics of first three groups or first three kingdoms where microorganisms are placed. Next, we will see about the merits and demerits of five kingdom system. Now students, our next point is the merits and demerits of five kingdom system, which was invented by Robert Whittaker. We know that many scientists are work upon the classification of living organisms, and today also so many scientists working for the classification of an organisms. But this system, which was invented by Robert Whittaker, only accepted worldwide. This system is having some merits and demerits. Let us study this one by one. So first we will see merits of this system. So first is prokaryotes are separate. Prokaryotes, we see first in first kingdom, that is kingdom Monera. There all organisms are prokaryotic organisms. Their cells are not well defined. So to study the characteristics of such group, means prokaryotic group, is very simple due to they are separate in this system. Now again fungi are also separate. So it is very easy to study their characteristics. Okay, so we know that fungi, these are placed into group third or kingdom third. That is, fungi are separately placed into this system and it is very easy to study. Then come, this is the natural system. We know that all the organisms of which are placed into five kingdom system, they are with their natural characteristics. So whole this system is the natural system. Now come to the next, evolutionary relationship. We know that in first kingdom, into the kingdom Monera, prokaryotic unicellular organisms are present. And if we see the last kingdom, that is the kingdom Animalia, there complex multicellular organisms are present. If we see first, second, third, fourth and fifth kingdom, then there is the relationship between organisms is present. They are becoming prokaryote to eukaryote, unicellular to the multicellular. Means this system shows evolutionary relationship between the organisms of first kingdom to the fifth kingdom. So these are the merits of five kingdom system. Now we will see some demerits. Okay, we know that algae are present into the Monera and Plantitum. Means we have studied just before some time that algae, for example blue-green algae, which was present into the first kingdom, that is Monera. But some algae, these are complex multicellular algae, they are placed into the Planti, fourth kingdom Planti. So as these algae are present into the Monera and Planti, means different kingdoms, it is very hard to study their characters. Now here same next, that is same organisms kept into the differently or different kingdoms. Same organisms kept in different kingdoms. Means here algae, example let's take here algae. This is single organism. Algae, all algae, they are single organisms, single type of organism, and they placed into different groups. So it is very difficult to study the characteristics of types of algae. So these are some demerits. Still after, this five kingdom system is worldwide accepted. So in today's video we have studied about how the microbes are classified or how the microbes are placed into five kingdom system and what are the merits and demerits of this five kingdom system. Remaining part of the chapter that we are going to learn into the next session. Till then, thank you.